It was never unexpected that the Orlando Magic might lose game one to the Boston Celtics or that they could be buried by an offensive avalanche. But it was how the Celtics got their threes that both brings promise and trouble for game two today on Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is April 20th. It will be April 21st, 2025. My name is Philip Rossman-Reich. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com, credentialed member of the media, coming to you from TD Garden here in Boston, where the Orlando Magic fall to the Boston Celtics 103-86 in game one. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, the Orlando Magic lost to an avalanche of threes. We kind of expected that might happen. Why it was how those threes got made that both brings promise and frustration and worry as the Orlando Magic now prepare for game two. We're going to get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day, no matter when you listen to us, whether it's first in the morning, whether it's right when we upload. We truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. You can make Locked On Magic an even bigger part of your day with the Locked On Magic daily newsletter, the one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Magic newsletter. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. There is no doubt that we expected the Orlando Magic to have a tall task defending the Boston Celtics. This is an offensive juggernaut, a team that just buries you with three-point volume in a way that frankly, the Orlando Magic aren't equipped and don't have the personnel to keep up with. The Magic have to junk the game up. As much as people want to complain maybe about the way the Magic play, they have to play a very specific style to give themselves a chance. And honestly, for most of this game against Celtics, most of game one, the Magic did exactly that. Yes, things got loose toward the end of the first quarter, into the second quarter, as Peyton Pritchard and the Celtics built a 12-point lead. But Orlando answered back. They slowed the game down. They got the ball moving. They got downhill. They got to the basket. Paolo and Franz carried this team to a 1-point lead at the half. The Orlando Magic showed in that run, outscoring the Celtics 31-22 in the second quarter. They showed in that run what they're capable of doing in this kind of a game, in this kind of a series. What is possible for the Orlando Magic? Obviously, that's just one quarter. It's not a full game. It's just one half. It's not a full game. And while the Magic mucked up the game, made Boston work, got Boston into traps and into places that they're not comfortable, limited their three-point shooting, the Magic and the Celtics made the same and took the same number of threes in the first half, that did not last. As we expected, and as I hopefully warned throughout the course of previewing this series, the Magic are the ones that have to play well. The Magic are the ones that have to limit mistakes, that have to be on their P's and Q's. If they're going to win in this series, they have to play well. And through the second half, through the third quarter especially, the Magic simply did not play well. They made mistakes. They turned it over. 15 turnovers for 24 points. They gave up fast break opportunities, getting outscored 26-4 in fast break opportunities. They gave up timely offensive rebounds. When they crashed down to defend a shot at the rim, weren't able to dig it out. They gave up those second chance opportunities, 17 second chance points, 6 of 10 shooting on second chance points, just 11 for Orlando on 16 field goal attempts. Quite simply, we could talk about the three-point shooting. Orlando made only, I believe, 2 or 3 three-pointers in the second half. Boston made 16 in the game. They made 9 in the second half. We can talk about the three-point shooting all we want, and yes, the Magic do have to keep that close, giving up 16 for 37 shooting from 3 in the game, giving against 10 for 27. That is a big difference, probably too big of a difference for the Magic to compete and stay in this game with how good they are at limiting threes. Generally, Orlando accomplished what they wanted to accomplish defensively in this game. But what the Magic can't do is give Boston extra opportunities. They can't give Boston those run-out threes, those uncontested threes, those disorganized threes. They can't give up extra opportunities to the Celtics. The Celtics are going to burn you Every time you do that, every time you give them an extra possession, an extra pass, an extra play, the Celtics are going to burn you. They're going to beat you. They're going to be the better team. Boston has a margin for error. Jason Tatum did not play well in this game. 17 points, 8 for 22 shooting, 1 for 8 from 3. Jaylen Brown did not play well in this game. 16 points, 6 for 14 shooting. And yet, Boston is still here talking about a 17-point victory. Yet, Boston is still here as the aggressors, as the more physical team, as the team that answered the bell when this game was on the line. Quite simply, to me, Orlando showed us that they can compete in this series. And again, credit to Boston. They forced the turnovers. They played the great defense. The Magic's offense did what we expect the Magic's offense to do. And how much this offense has struggled. It all played out once again for this team. But ultimately, the Celtics won the game on those margins. They pulled away, gained some steam, gained some separation, gained some distance because they won these extra possessions. You've heard Jamal Mosley talk about it over the last few weeks. It's about the possession battle. We've heard when we guested on Locked On Celtics, when I guessed on Locked On Celtics, when, if you listen to any Celtics Magic preview, everyone would talk about offensive rebounds, the ability to control the glass. I've talked a lot about pace, and which for the two slowest teams in the league, the team that controls the tempo, controls the pace, that finds the easy points against these elite defenses, that's the team that's going to win. Honestly, if you ever get to look at an official box score, which I'm holding up to the camera right now, you're going to want to look down at the bottom here. You're going to want to look down there. Those are the stats that are going to tell you the games. Second chance points, points in the paint, which broke even, maybe not as huge in this series or in this game. Points off turnovers, fast break points. That's going to tell you who was the aggressor, who was in control, and who was making the most of their opportunities. Quite simply, Orlando did a great job on the offensive glass in the first half. They put themselves in a great position to win this game. They were getting those extra points. They were getting those extra possessions. And that's why the Magic were still in the game and still had a chance to win. They didn't convert off of them. In the first half, Orlando, I believe, had 10 offensive rebounds, but just 7 second chance points. Orlando forced 11 turnovers, but scored only 8 points. And one of the most critical plays are all Magic turnovers. Franz Wagner turning the ball over at midcourt under great defense from Jrue Holiday that led to a Jrue Holiday three. I'm picking on Franz here a little bit, but it wasn't just him. Franz had 5 turnovers. Paolo had 4. Wendell Carter had 3. There were a lot of mistakes in this game by key players. It was Franz Wagner on a 3-on-1 fast break, fumbling the ball, making the wrong passing decision, turning it over and sparking a fast break that ended with a Peyton Pritchard 3. The fact of the matter is, if the Magic can get their defense set, if they can face the Celtics with their defense ready to go, knowing what's coming, knowing their switching schemes, communicating at the high level they communicated throughout most of the night, if they can be set, they have a shot. Boston's going to still hit tough shots. Tatum's going to do what he does. Brown's going to do what he does. But the Magic are going to contest a lot of those shots and give themselves a real chance. If they make the kind of mistakes that they made throughout game one, if they give away the possessions and the extra opportunities that they did throughout game one, this series is going to be over quick. And the games are not going to be particularly close, just like they were tonight. Look, we know Orlando is facing a huge uphill battle here. I'm not pretending otherwise. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. The Magic have to play well. If they're going to win a game, if they're going to win this series, they have to play well. And we'll get to Franz, we'll get to Paolo. We're going to talk about the bigger picture issues that we all know here in a minute. The Magic did not play well enough in this game. Just plain and simple, they did not play well enough. And if the Magic have let's call this a C+ game. Let's call this a C game. If the Magic have a C game, they're going to lose by 15+. And the fact of the matter is the Magic made too many mistakes, did not take advantage of opportunities when they had them, and the Celtics are a championship team that did. The Celtics are going to punish the Magic for every mistake that they made, and they did that throughout this game. Of course, some of this is just flaws. These are just, they're deep roster flaws. So how do the Magic overcome all of these flaws? We're going to get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at DoorDash. NBA fans, you know what time it is. Playoff season means big performances and even bigger rewards. DoorDash is bringing the heat with a slam dunk deal for Dash Pass members during the 2025 NBA playoffs. It's called They Swoosh, You Score. Anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game, Dash Pass members score a free three-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more. Use the code WINGSTOP50 at checkout, and that combo is yours. Crispy, delicious, and totally free. Offer is valid from noon to midnight the day after the game. Terms apply. Look, we all need, I'm here at the TV Garden. It's a little bit after 7. They're getting ready to turn the lights off on me again, just like after game 1 last year. I'm going to be looking for a snack here in Boston. I know Dash Pass is my way to get a snack to my hotel room more than anything else, but is my way to get the best food possible as quickly as possible so I can get back to work and get this podcast to you. So here's the play. Sign up for Dash Pass to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When any player scores 50 or more in a playoff game, Dash Pass members can grab a free three-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the next day with a $20 or more order and code WINGSTOP50. That's Dash Pass, your door to more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms do apply. We've already begun thinking about the offseason. And I think that's unfair to do. And I think that's unfair to say at this point. We still got a long series to go. Or hopefully we have a long series to go. It's just one game. The Magic lost a game very similar to this in Cleveland last year. And I know Cleveland, last year's Cleveland at least, is not Boston. Like, this is a tougher series than the Magic had last year. This is a better team than the Magic faced last year. And the Magic, while improved in some ways, are not the team that they were last year either. Certainly, they don't have Jalen Suggs. They don't have Mo Wagner. They're missing a lot right now. It's been very, very hard to talk about this team and separate it from what we expect and what we anticipate is coming this offseason. It's very, very hard to separate what we know about this year's Magic and what we know the team must do. I think I mentioned this earlier. I will mention this again after the series. This series against the Boston Celtics is a measuring stick. It's meant to show us, and hopefully the Magic do use it this way, it's meant to show us where this team is at in comparison to an elite championship team, to the team that they want to be. Like, I'm not saying the Magic need to build the same way the Celtics did and do and all that stuff. They're different teams in that respect, but the Celtics are where the Magic want to be. And so a big part of what we're going to learn this series is how far Orlando is from where they want to be. And look, this was a 17-point game. It deserved to be a 17-point game. The Celtics played better. They were the better team in this game. It has been impossible to watch some of these losses in big games or otherwise and not see how glaring the Magic's flaws are. It has been impossible to watch these games and not think about, this is what the Celtics have, this is what the Magic don't. I'm going to talk more about Paolo and Franz here in a minute, but Paolo had 36. Showed up in the playoffs once again, 14 for 27 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, 4 for 6 from the foul line. Free throws were an issue. We'll get to that. 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Dude showed up. Playoff Paolo is a thing. I want to talk more about playoff Paolo tomorrow probably. We'll get to him more. Franz Wagner, up and down, not going to deny that. 23 points, 10 for 24 shooting, 1 for 6 from 3. Didn't have a bad game, didn't have a great game. Nobody else on the Magic scored more than 10 points. And at the end of the day, a big reason why the Magic are making all these mistakes is either A, they don't have enough players who want the ball in their hands and are looking to score. We'll get to the box score. We'll go through some of these individual players in a minute. They don't have enough of these players that want to score. And B, they don't have enough shooting, which, again, Magic shot 10 for 27 from 3. Orlando wins most games where they shoot 37%. Maybe they didn't make enough threes. Maybe they needed to have more than 10 threes. Obviously, Boston had 16. Maybe they needed to take more threes and create more threes, but Orlando wins most games where they shoot better than 35% from 3. I think they're like 18-5 or 18-6 in games where they shoot 35% from three or better. Like, this will be this is a rare kind of loss when they shoot as well as they did for the most part. Sorry about that. Internet cut out there here at the TV Garden. I only have one USB cord, so I can't plug directly in. The Magic are a flawed team. There's a reason you're the 7th seed. There's a reason you're 41-41. They're good enough to get to this point. And so the question becomes, how do you overcome these flaws? Like, again, this series will be a referendum of what the Magic need. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and dig my head in the sand and say, the Magic don't need more shooting. The Magic don't need more playmaking. They don't need more creation. That is all part and parcel to this. It is obvious what the Magic need. And like looking at this game and how competitive it was for a good chunk of it and where the flaws are, yeah, getting Jalen Suggs back, getting Mo Wagner back, adding another playmaking guard, that would help this team tremendously. Getting another player who can attack off the dribble, the Magic just need Paolo and Franz to do too much. They don't have enough offensive creators, whereas Boston, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown struggled. Derek White's getting shots off the perimeter off three. They have enough shooting where, Jaylen Brown can have a bad game, but still rack up assists, still make passes, make plays. Drew Holiday can go through a little spurt where he scores. He only had 9 points, but those 9 points in the third quarter were huge. Derek White had 30. Peyton Pritchard had 19 points on 6 for 8 shooting, 4 for 6 from 3, hit 3 threes, hit 2 humongous threes, or hit a 3 and got fouled on a 3 in the third quarter that changed the game. The Magic don't have that. Like, Cole Anthony was someone that got targeted, and they don't have that. But here's the point. Here's where I get to. You can't worry about what you don't have right now. And the task for the Magic as they prepare for Game 2 now, as they prepare for Wednesday, is how do we overcome the flaws that we know exist with the group that you have? How do you overcome these flaws? And like, this has been maybe the central question of the whole season. We know these flaws exist. We know the Magic must meaningfully address their offense in the offseason. We know what the Magic need and what they don't have. And this series is about covering those flaws and trying to play through them. And that's tough to do because Boston's a really good defensive team. I want to give Boston a lot of credit defensively. They forced those turnovers. They slowed the Magic down and forced them into tough shots. And Paolo made a lot of them. Franz made a lot of them. But at the end of the day, so much of this season is about trust. It has always been about trust. And whether the star players trust their teammates to make shots, to be that outlet. And frankly, I think in the Magic's worst days and when the Magic have bad games like this, it's kind of clear they don't. It's kind of clear that they don't fully trust that if I swing the ball, that A, I'll get it back, but B, that player is going to make the shot. And that's the vice that keeps killing this team. That's the vice that keeps hurting this team and preventing them from taking that leap, from taking that step. That's what hurts the Magic most. And I don't know how you get that back. Like, this is the part where you have to have that trust. Jaylen Brown trusts Derek White's going to hit that shot. They trust Peyton Pritchard's going to hit that shot. I think there's tremendous trust on defense, but making a tough pass or making a pass to a rolling Wendell Carter or whoever, that isn't always there. And that's what leads to some of the tough shots and some of the turnovers and some of the plays where the Boston is able to commit players to stop the Magic's drivers because they don't trust the other shooters. Again, Orlando made shots in this game. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was 2 for 4 from 3. The only thing you could complain about is that he didn't get 2 more threes. The ball just wasn't moving. It stagnated too much. And again, credit to Boston. Some of it is they apply a lot of pressure. They slowed this team down and forced them into those mistakes. But until the Magic can get to work in the offseason to add the elements that they're missing, this is what they have to work with. And simply, the Magic have to be willing to fall on their sword sometimes. They have to be willing to say, we're going to commit to each other. And if we miss shots, we miss shots. We know what Paolo is going to give the Magic. He played about as well as he needed to play. Franz, we know what he's going to give the Magic. He gave the Magic what they needed. If the Magic are going to win in this series, they got to reduce turnovers, and they got to trust that best shot, that better shot is there. Because far too often, the Magic are passing up, looking off wide open shooters from guys they should trust, like Caleb Houston, like Gary Harris, like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, like Anthony Black, who passed up a bunch of open shots in the second quarter. The Magic have roster flaws. It's going to cost them at various points in this series. But if they want to be competitive, they got to trust that they can overcome them. And it only has to happen 4 times to win. It didn't happen on Sunday afternoon. Let's run through the final box score. We'll talk about individual players. We'll get to that coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet on your favorite players, your favorite teams, and your favorite games. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Like I mentioned, unfortunately, this was nothing surprising. I think if you ask me how these games are going to typically go in this series, I would say, there's going to be long stretches where the Magic and Celtics play about even. There will be stretches where the Magic are the better team, where the Magic are the more aggressive team, and yeah, there'll probably be a game, maybe 2, where the Magic are aggressive and strong enough that they pull away and they get some distance and they take the lead and they win that game. But most of these games are going to go exactly like how this one did, where the Magic maybe hit a little bit of a lull offensively. They start making mistakes. The turnovers start piling up. The misses are long misses that get the Celtics out and running, and Boston scores enough points, builds enough of a run that they build a little bit of a cushion. And it's not necessarily about it's about how big that cushion is. In this game, they got it out to 12 in the second quarter. Magic brought it back, got back in the game, showed that they can erase that cushion. So, not the end of the world. But in the third quarter, Celtics got it out to 15, maybe 16 points. I think the biggest lead was 19. And that just became too much for the Magic to overcome. They didn't have that second push to get back in the game. Boston started the quarter. Again, Boston won the third quarter 30-18, and that was essentially it. It was 11 points at the end of the third quarter. There's a weird thing that happened at the end of the third quarter in this game. But that was the ball game. That was essentially it. And Orlando could not get it closer than 11 in the fourth quarter, and there just wasn't enough push and pull. The Celtics just made the shots and made the plays to keep the Magic at arm's length. And I do think that's how a lot of these games are going to go, where Boston's just going to have this advantage and kind of be able to keep the Magic a little bit away from them. Maybe they get a little bit closer, maybe not, but that's kind of how these games are going to go unless Orlando gets super duper hot. Again, like I mentioned, Paolo Banchero was awesome tonight. 36 points, 14 for 27 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3, 11 rebounds. The only thing he really got frustrated with was that he couldn't get to the foul line. That did lead to a few turnovers. The refs let them play pretty physically. Celtics only got 18 free throws. Orlando got 11. 11's obviously a low number. Orlando's got to get to 20 free throws. They cannot lose a free throw battle in this series because that's one of the few trends where the Magic have an advantage. And again, credit to Boston. They did a great job keeping Orlando on the perimeter. The Magic struggled to get downhill. Their success in the second quarter was predicated on their ability to get downhill to the paint, get some kickouts, force the defense to collapse a little bit. The Magic just did that far too inconsistently. Paolo was able to get to his spots, hit his mid-range jumper, we know he's going to perform in the playoffs. So a really strong game from Paolo. And honestly, like, I thought Franz played pretty well too. 23 points, 10 for 24 shooting. He was 1 for 6 from 3. All 6 of those were in the first half. Just the shooting's frustrating. I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. It is what it is at this point. Um, at the Magic, or that Franz is just going to kind of struggle to shoot. That's just how the season's gone. You can't argue against it or complain about it too much. Other than like he needs to fix it in the off season. The Franz got into the paint a little bit more, missed some flip shots that he has to make. Again, I think he got frustrated. He wasn't getting some foul calls too. He's 2 for 2 from the line. Again, Powell and Franz account for 8 of the Magic's 11 free throw attempts. That's part of the problem too. No one else got going. No one else got downhill. No one else got to the basket. Wendell Carter is going to get has been getting a lot of heat on the early conversations. And look, the Magic need Wendell Carter to be a bigger factor around the basket. He finished with 4 points, 13 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. Just 2 for 6 from the floor. So he missed a lot of shots around the rim, especially early. That killed his confidence. You kind of see Wendell not super engaged offensively or not like super confident offensively. Again, this series is going to be all about confidence and aggression and trust. And if the Magic are confident, if they're aggressive, if they're trusting each other, they have a shot. I'm not saying they'll win. They have a shot. I thought Carter was awesome on defense. His ability to switch onto the perimeter is going to be vital in this series. It's a key part of the Magic switching scheme and why they typically defend Boston so well and why they defended them so well in this game. But if you're not getting the Magic needs some scoring too, and they just were not getting enough offense from him. Latavius Caldwell-Pope, like I mentioned, 6 points, 2 for 4 shooting from 3, 2 for 5 overall. Didn't hate contain KCP's game again. It's the same issue we talked about. He had 3 steals, played great defense as well, I believe. Magic switched 1 through 5 throughout the game, so it's hard to like tell you exactly how he played good defense. I thought he played very good defense. Held his own, got matched up on Jaylen Brown, got matched up on Jason Tatum, held his own in the post. Really, really strong defensive game from Kenny, but when the ball doesn't move, he's not going to get shots. I know I said this a ton about Gary Harris last year when people would complain about how few shots Gary Harris got and why he was starting. I'd be like, his role is not to create shots. And again, this is part of the larger problem. The Magic need more guys who want to create shots. Corey Joseph has been great, stabilized before, but he is not a shot creator. He needs others to create shots for him. And so you look at the Magic's starting lineup, Paolo and Franz are the only ones creating shots for each other, for everyone else. They have to do everything. You look at Boston, Brown can create shots, Tatum can create shots, White can create shots, Holiday can create shots. Porzingis, usually going to end the possession, but you can run stuff off of him. The Magic don't run the same stuff with Carter that Boston does with Porzingis, not nearly the same offensive threat. The Magic just don't have enough shot creators. And so Caldwell-Pope would benefit from, even having Jalen Suggs would benefit from that, especially the way he has been shooting of late. So I think that Kenny is gonna get there eventually. But again, it's gonna be about the Magic moving the ball and getting to where they need to go. Anthony Black, frankly, looks scared in this game. 3 points, 1 for 4 shooting, 1 for 1 from 3. That came in the third quarter. He looked off in that second quarter stint when Boston really started to pull away. The Magic absolutely need Anthony Black to have a big series. They absolutely need Black to play at a high level because of the way that the Magic are switching. Corey Joseph can't defend the switching that the Magic want to do. Cole Anthony certainly cannot. Celtics targeted him like crazy in this game. The Magic need Anthony Black to be productive. He was more productive in the second half than the first half, but just, again, not at the level. He looked like his eyes were a little bright playing in his first real playoff game because he didn't really play last year against Cleveland. Again, not a lot off the bench. I don't have much to say. Jonathan Isaac, I thought, played decently. 7 points, 3 for 4 shooting, made his 3 in this game. Good rebounding. He's going to be super important because of his versatility. It's not shocking if we do see some Isaac Carter lineups to deal with Cornette Horford if that becomes a problem, or some Isaac Atadze lineups. But honestly, Isaac handled those lineups pretty well alongside Paolo. As long as the Magic are rebounding in those lineups, I do think that they could be okay. Again, the Orlando Magic, they're going to struggle offensively. Shot 42%, 10 for 27 from 3. We'll take 37% shooting on most nights, but obviously the real important number is 10 made three-pointers for Orlando, 16 for Boston. That number's got to be closer if Orlando's going to have a chance. And again, Boston shot 16 for 37. Orlando did a good job of limiting their three-point attempts. but they pull away in that third quarter and fourth quarter because of their shooting, because of their ability to get out in transition, hunt the three-point line before the Magic can get their defense set, and just crushing the Magic on the three-point line. Derek White scores 30 points. Peyton Pritchard has 19 off the bench, 16 for Jaylen Brown, 17 for Jason Tatum on 8 for 22 shooting. You kind of hope that this is not the only bad Tatum game, but I think you kind of have to doubt that that's going to be the case because Jason Tatum's really freaking good, and he's not going to have a bunch of bad games in a row like he kind of had tonight. He's a team high plus 22, so maybe it wasn't as bad as we think it was. But the Magic, I thought, did a good job on him for the most part. But defense isn't the problem with this team. We've known that for a long time. It's offense, it's scoring, it's the ability to create beyond just Paolo and Franz to be versatile on offense. And Boston exploited that and forced the Magic into the holes that they wanted to get them to. The Celtics win 103-86. They take game one. As we learned last year, it's just one game. We'll see if the Magic have something better in store Wednesday for game two. But that's going to do it for me today. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. You can, of course, find me on Twitter at PhilipRR_OMB, Alan Bluesky at PhilipRR. You can subscribe to the podcast and have the podcast, such as TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, and all from me stuff off. Download podcast to your podcast-enabled listening device. You can find us on YouTube as well. Just search for Locked On Magic. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And for even more Orlando Magic content, be sure to check out my Patreon page, the Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. I'm sure I'll be pulling together some playbook video from my hotel room tomorrow, so we'll chat a little bit more about game one on the Patreon page. Again, that's patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. As if all that's not enough, you can also check out the Locked On Magic Daily Newsletter. It's the one-stop for expert analysis, insider insights, and all the playoff action delivered straight to your inbox for free. Plus, as a subscriber, you'll be entered to win one of these three amazing prizes: a $2,500 Best Buy gift card to upgrade your Sportscape setup, a $300 Game Time gift card to get tickets to the big game, whether it's Friday or Sunday, and a $200 Fanatics gift card to make sure you are dressed for the part for Games 3 and 4 back at the TSN. It's easy and free to enter. Simply subscribe between now and April 30th to be automatically entered to win. Don't miss a moment of the championship run or playoff run for Magic. In the Magic's case, join the Locked On Magic newsletter today and experience the playoffs like never before. Subscribe today and enter to win by clicking the link in the description below or going to LockedOnDaily.com. That's going to do it for me today from the TV Garden. They didn't turn the lights off on me, so I'm appreciative of that. We'll see you all back here Wednesday for Game 2, but we'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Magic. Until then, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, it's been Philip Rossman. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.